Unlike myself, 24 years ago, my wife was quite famous. And I met her, married her. She was going to Landmark Baptist Church, where she was a Christian school teacher. Some of her former students are in this room. We hadn't been married very long. And I said to her, one night after church, we were riding home, and I said, Deborah, this thing about Landmark, this ain't going to work. You're never going to be Mike Howell's wife here. I'm always going to be Miss Neal's husband. So you got to find me a church. And she said to me on the way to the house, she said, well, there's only one other church that I know anything about that would be worth going to. So we come on, I think on a Wednesday night the first time, visited Central. And I got to introduce myself. I'm Mike Howell. This is my wife, Deborah. It felt real good. I hadn't been saying that very much. And I couldn't get my wife to introduce me at Landmark because she just figured everybody knew I was her husband. And she still liked that, by the way. But we came here, and that's been 24 years ago. And I said to somebody today or yesterday that the pastor is the only pastor that Deborah and I have known as a man and wife. It's always, when it comes to us two, it's always been the preacher and Janice. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure if I went around this room tonight and I said, I want you just to pull a fog about the pastor and Janice and just in your mind's eye, take a shot. I bet it'd be just real interesting to go around the room and see what that shot is. I have one. And because this is about Pastor Janice, this is him and her. I have one of the preacher, but I won't talk about that. But I will on some other occasion. It's honorable. But I taught back there in young adults for 15 years. So I've seen the preacher come out of the church office, through the kitchen, going into the church several hundred times. And his wife, same thing. Sometimes they'd come together, usually Janice first, and she'd go where she welcomes the bus kids in to come through but many a time on Sunday morning, because I'm in the back a lot, and my wife is teaching, and I'm helping, so I'm still back there in Sunday school. And I have this image in my mind of the two of them, because when they get close to one another, the preacher will always walk up to Janice, and this is preacher, this is Janice.
And she's talking, she's saying something, he's saying something.
I don't have a clue what they're saying, but I look at that, and I see a man and his wife. All these years of ministry together, raising their family, and helping us raise all our families, and loving us. And that trust, that element of trust and just absolute devotion that we sense between the two of them, it just forms an image. And when I think of them, and when I'm witnessing or I'm talking about my preacher and his wife to anybody, and I'm talking about our church, I always have that image of the two of them. And recently, and I don't know how Deborah and I happened to cross paths at that very moment, but I had just, because she was getting ready to teach, and she had just walked out the door to say something to me, and I had just seen the preacher walk up to Janice, and those two heads go together in that quiet conversation that they have. And I turned around to my wife and I said, look right there. I said, that is the perfect image of a devoted man and woman, wife and husband, to the Lord. And I'll guarantee you, Deborah, his most trusted servant is his wife. I love you both. You better give me a hug. And I love all of you. You know something? I'm gonna sit down. You know, something happened in the last 2 weeks in our church, I don't know if y'all thought about it. Friday was Mike Flowers' mother's funeral. Within the last 2 or 3 weeks in our church, we've had a new family formed by a marriage, didn't we? We've had a new baby born, and we buried a mother. This is a living organism. And in all 3 of those events, the funeral, the birth of the baby, and the wedding, we all celebrate. I really don't know why any man wants to go through this life and not have a church, and not have a pastor, and not have a wife like his. Do you? We are very blessed. Thank you.
Everyone's kind of looking at me and see who's next. I just asked a few of the men, if there are any of the ladies that would like to say something to Pastor and Miss Wiggins, help herself. It doesn't have to be just women. So if you'd like to say something, right now is the time to do it. Express your love to our pastor and his wife.
Hi. I think I have had a rare privilege of being one of the few in the church to grow up kind of knowing them as not just Preacher and Miss Wiggins, but Grandjan and Papa, because I was so close to Madison growing up. And I remember one time we were at their house, and I was just happened to be at the Cassidy's house that night, and Brother Steve and Miss Gina were going out to dinner. So they took us to Preacher and Miss Wiggins' house to babysit us for the night. And that was the first time I ever saw a preacher in a pair of shorts, and I was just taken aback. But
I think that was
but it kind of put a whole new relationship to my friendship with Madison and with the Cassidys and with Preacher Miss Wiggins. And I've got to know them as both sides, and it's just been a huge blessing in my life, like Emma was saying, of a marriage and as a pastor and his wife, and they've just been so helpful to me and Solomon and our getting started and everything. I love you guys, and like my own grandparents, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Amen.
I know. You're in trouble now. I'm just kidding out. It did.
Well, I guess I can get away without saying something to you then. Because they're not only my pastor and his wife too. I'm gonna start crying. That's why I can't come up here and say stuff, but I'm gonna tell you. You're more like... Sorry. You're more like parents to me. And I don't have my mom here anymore. And my dad, has been in Pensacola for years, most of my life. But, so, you're like parents to me. I love you very much. I wasn't going to come up here, Tony. You started it by opening up to the women. Anyway, you took me in. And I've been working, I was sitting there trying to figure out how long I've been really working in the office. I wasn't, full time there for many, many years. I was just, they felt sorry for me. So they helped me out, and I hurt my back. I was a waitress for 20 years, and I hurt my back when I was working, and I, couldn't do that kind of work anymore, and I didn't know what to do. So, I did open up a cleaning business also years later once I got kind of feeling better and all, but I would come in and help in the office for a while, and I really got to, see a marriage like I have never seen before. And I mean that with all my heart. I didn't know what it was like to have, sorry. To see such great Christian people in this church is so amazing. You all are. I know I'm crazy. but, here year after year, the things that people go through here and why anybody would want to do that without the church family. You guys are wonderful. I love each and every one of you, and we've all had a lot of hard times and, good times, and this is a good time, and I love you guys, and like I said, you've been a very good example to me. My mom and dad, they were divorced, and they were good godly people, though. But they had a bad time too, and I never really got to see what it was like to see the family. You guys are an amazing family. Your children, your grandchildren, Jack. All of you guys really. It's really neat to be around Christian people. Tony and Amy, all the years you guys have been together, and there's many of them. You don't really see that anymore. In school, you don't see all the kids teaching Sunday school. If you see a child that has the same parents, that's unusual. And if you know that as teachers, if the kids have the same last name as their parents, it's unusual anymore. And it really is such a blessing to see the families that have been through these 60 years and more, and the children that you're raising, they've been together, and I pray that the grandchildren will, and we got to have somebody that carries that on, because it's just, we don't see that anymore. And it's been a wonderful blessing to me, and I owe you the world, and I love you. Happy anniversary.
I know, I can't talk without crying.